Hey, everybody, welcome to the Thirsty Professional. This is a place where we grab a bevy. Oops, I got to get it on camera there. I'm half on camera. Ditch the BS and we get real about careers, purpose, fulfillment, and passion. I'm your host, Bacon Beth Ann Campbell. I'm a survivor of 23 years in corporate chaos. I'm now working on my creative badassery. I am also the author of the award-winning, yes, award-winning, Where the Hell is My Bacon? If you're watching out there live, let us know you're here in the comments, where you're from, and most importantly, what are you drinking today? If you're watching the replay, please give us a hashtag replay. And of course, make sure to let us know if you have any questions or feedback during the show so we can address it either during the live stream or on a future episode, depending on your question. There is a little bit of a delay, so if you can give us a little context to your comment, if it's not inherent, that would be great as well. All right, today my very, very special guest on the Thirsty Professional is Jay Stansfield. So Jay is a multi-award-winning creative powerhouse. I'm talking like full spectrum imagination, music, storytelling, illustration, and he captivates audiences of all ages. I'm not even joking. He is like, 100 to, 2 to 92. He is the creator of the Squibbles Empire, which is his vibrant, and I mean that literally and figuratively, children's brand that spans books, 3D worlds, games, animations, and interactive experiences. Beyond children's media, let's go to the other side of the spectrum. Jay is frontman for a rock punk trio. Yes, you heard me right, a rock punk trio, All Hail Hyena. You really need to go out there and check out their viral video. So just go out on YouTube and search All Hail Hyena birthday. Their viral video about a fan who was surprised with the band on their birthday. I've probably watched it 75 times. It's so cool. Watch the full minute version first, because then you can kind of see where they pan to Jay and his band performing. But anyways, I'm fangirling and gushing a little bit. But it's amazing. Go check it out. Jay is the creative director of Squibblesville Studios Limited, and he has one of the most unique podcasts that I have ever encountered. And we're going to hopefully talk a little bit about that. Talking about a lot of things today, as well as his journey. So please help me welcome my British brother, Jay Stansfield. Jay, welcome to the Thirsty Professional.
Thank you very much for having me here, Beth.
All right, Jay, before we jump into all that fun stuff, what are you drinking today?
What am I drinking today? Today I am drinking black coffee from my posh coffee machine. Well, I press a button.
You have. Oh, tell me about your posh coffee machine.
You just put pods in. It's a gusto, and then it comes out, and I drink it. It's nice.
Yeah, that's what we have too. Actually, I got one for as a anniversary gift at one of the places I worked at in corporate, and it was a pretty like a $200 unit, and it does the milk frothing and stuff. But basically, we just chuck the pods in it, and it's just convenient.
Easy. I had to do it. I didn't have time to make a brew before we jumped on, so I was just typically running late. So
yeah, that's okay. You know what? That's because you're a busy guy. I love your cup, by the way. I was telling you earlier that I find I drink water out of a kind of a I don't know. I got this at the dollar store, but it just makes me feel like I'm in luxury when I drink out of a nice mug. And you have a lovely clear one. I think that says luxury to me.
Luxury.
That's right. Oh, and I gotta remember. I gotta turn on my. There we go. I was like, oh my God, where are my comments? Doris Walsh is joining us from the UK. Just water today. Doris, thank you for joining. Doris is the one I was telling you about Jay earlier, who is, I think, Doris, are you in Scotland area? I can't remember. Or you used to be. You've been all over. So, but anyway, we were talking about you.
London, it's all the same to
Were your ears ringing? I don't know. Anyway, Jay, I was also thinking about you earlier this week when my trash was being picked up on time. So Jay had a little, have you resolved that finally? I haven't seen any rants about your trash that was not being picked up for a very long time earlier this year.
Yeah. So we have to wheel our bins up to the top of the back street now. Feels like they're punishing us.
What?
Yeah.
That's retaliation.
It's literally traumatized me forever.
Wow.
Situation that was. And nobody thanked me on the street. They just all resent me because they have to wheel the bins up to the top.
Oh, so you were out there championing with your voice, and your trash was smelling, and you were trying to get this picked up, and then now they just resent you because you made them work more.
Their loss.
I had another question that I've been wanting to ask you. So you're Jay Stansfield. Are you familiar with the singer, the British singer Lisa Stansfield?
Yeah, I am.
You
Yeah.
are. Okay, so do you remember her song All Around the World? It was a big hit. What's that?
All around the world.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that song and I want to do a parody of that song, but substitute baby with bacon and have it be like I'm looking for my bacon, but then and I'm, mascara is running down my teeth because or my teeth, my face. The song's all about this woman who she, I've been around the world and I can't find my baby. I don't know when, I don't know why I can, why he's gone away. And I thought it would be cool to substitute bacon. And then, but then in the video, I would be eating the bacon. So it's kind of ironic. Like, where is my bacon? But I ate it.
You ate it. Obviously. Do not waste bacon. That's the rule. That's the law.
Thank you.
No
Thank
bacon
you.
must be wasted.
I appreciate that you appreciate that. So Jay, let's talk a little bit before we dive into what you're doing now. Tell us about a little bit about your journey. Did I remember correctly way back when you told me that you were doing like some sort of computer services for a bit?
Yeah, so I mean, how far back do we go? Because I'm 45. We don't have a lot of time.
not to your, yeah, just briefly, because I just think it's interesting when you come across, I've actually had this happen a lot with people I've talked to. I have a lot of military people, former military, who are like mechanics, and now they're completely doing something very different and creative. And so that, to me, computers is very digital.
Yeah, so the thing is, right, I understand this now that I'm 45. I've always enjoyed sharing and helping people and solving problems. So, but I've always had an interest in computers since being 7. I had a Spectrum, ZX Spectrum, and I have a vested interest in technology. I am on top of technology.
Yeah.
Right now, I just like tech is for me is just a wonderful, wonderful thing. But when I got a job in my 20s, I applied for a job in a primary school as an IT technician. So I thought I'd be fixing computers, working with networks, helping teachers, helping kids. And it was like a fairly flexible hours because I was in a band. I was in Trans Element, which was like my first band.
Perfect. Yeah.
So I had all the holidays off. I had like 5 weeks off in summer, still got paid because it was pro rata. So I was still getting a wage while I wasn't there. So I was like buzzing about that role. That was one of the original reasons I got that job, actually. Sorry, Neil, if you're listening. But I just fell in love with it so much because, like, honestly, working with kids, maybe some of the teachers not so much, but working with the kids was just absolutely game changing. Like, changed my world. They're just so vibrant and imaginative and just open to inspiring ideas, and they're just little bundles of bright light of kids, and that's what's fantastic.
Well, it's starting to make sense now. So because you're very creative, but you also use technology in your creativity a lot, and you're also very even though you do creative things that are very much, even some of your so-called children's stuff is very appealing to adults like me. But then so I can see where the evolution comes. So you loved it. Why aren't you still doing that?
Yeah, so I did it for 15 years.
Wow.
And the school that I was at when I kind of left that career, it wasn't even really a career path. It was just bringing money in, really. But the management there became so intolerable that I just couldn't deal with it anymore. It was seriously affecting my mental health really badly. And my wife was like, look, you need to make a decision here. She said, I'd rather have my husband happy and not in a job than miserable and having a job. So we went to watch The Greatest Showman. Like everything started cascading, and we went to watch The Greatest Showman, and it made me leave my job. Like, I watched that film and I was like, if that can happen, I know it's a story, I know it's a bit fantasy, but I'm an optimist, and I always have been. A bit of an idealist, maybe. But I thought, if that can happen, if that is possible, and it clearly really inspired me to do that. I was like, I'm just going to go for it. I don't care if I've not got any money. Like my wife probably does, but you know, we share and we love each other and we support each other and we support the children. I'm just gonna, just, you know, if it helps my whole world, then I'm just gonna do it. And I just left.
Yeah, I remember the same thing when I got let go out of corporate. Is I panicked a little bit because, but you know, because of the money, right? You're losing a steady paycheck.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I have a husband who's, you know, working, and I had a small pension, and we were able to make things work. But the stress that was gone when I finally made the decision not to go back, I didn't realize how bad it was affecting me. I knew it was bad.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that bad. And I know you're very active and a very big proponent of taking care of our mental health too. So
yeah,
that's interesting though.
To happen, like for my children's sake, for my wife, like this wasn't healthy. It wasn't a healthy spot to be in at all. I'd lost so much weight. I was stressed. It was bad.
Yeah, it's more important. You get to a point in your life where it's more important to be healthy and happy than it is to be. It's almost a, you know, even though it's a struggle in itself when you're not bringing money in, but it's it's a different kind of a struggle and a stress than it is when you're just like, you can't even, you almost even fathom how stressed out and how it's affecting your mental health.
I mean, that was what, 8 years ago now. I think it was about 8 years. Yeah, and I didn't leave with, you know, not making any money. It made me I had to work to get some money. I had to like work out what the hell I was going to do.
Yeah.
And I had a plan. I had a little plan, not specifically financially, but I did have a plan I was basically writing songs. I was using one of the skills that I had. I was writing songs for bereaved families. So we'd sit down, talk about the loved one, write a song, and then I worked with a few families on that, but it wasn't regular enough.
Yeah.
And
which is a mixed blessing, right? It's like,
kind of, yeah.
You know?
I mean, the peak of that was helping a charity with a song for Edward, helping to raise the awareness of meningitis. And it got to #3 in the Amazon music charts. So we were absolutely buzzing about that.
Wow, that's impressive.
It's cool. It's cool.
Well, by the way, I'm just checking in. Karen Chappell's joining us. Karen, my friend Karen, who's awesome. Karen helped me with some chronic pain that I was having, and I had tried everything, and I went through her program, and I'm telling you, it was a miracle. So if anybody's suffering from chronic pain, go connect with Karen. So this is, like you said, this is about 8 years ago ish. So this is maybe not too long before, because I think I've known you for almost 5 years.
Yeah.
Tell me about. Let's talk about the Squibbles. First of all, I'm gonna many times plug the Squibbles. So I have 3 of Jay's books. Yes, the Squibbles. I love the T-shirt. I need a T-shirt. So here you go. I have to talk between them so the microphone will pick me up. So we've got 2 books here. These are coloring books. I love these, and yes, I do color in them. I'm going to show you one of my favorites.
Whoa,
this is one of my masterpieces.
Oh, I love that.
But they're so fun, and they're so and they're easy, and it's almost like, it's very popular now, at least in the States. Every bookstore you go into, there's these they're coloring books for adults, and so I know that this probably wasn't intended for adults, but I'm an adult.
Yeah, that's been an interesting turn of events as that.
Tell me about that. Yeah. Well, first of all, tell us about the Squibbles, and how did that, where was it, like a drunk dream or something that you had? I mean, how do you come up with
alcohol with a children's brand? Alcohol doesn't exist.
Amazing, colorful, vibrant, but yet very, very not complicated characters. Yeah. Tell me.
Yeah. So it's funny because, again, it was like the power of the wife creeps in there. The power of a woman in the background.
What's your wife's name again?
Gina.
Gina, it's all you, Gina.
Yeah. So during lockdown, well, slightly before lockdown, actually, because she's always loved my illustrations, and I've always illustrated like forever, silly stuff as well. It's never serious. Well, I mean, I've done the odd serious thing, but it's always a bit dark, so I didn't really want to go down that route. So I went down the light-hearted, other side of my character, which is the sort of simple, funny, bit slightly quirky and weird, but still appealing character drawings, really. And she suggested that I just do a colouring book during lockdown, because lockdown was so stressful, and lockdown was so. I just kept thinking about all the mums and dads and kids out there that were having to have this homeschooling, having to have this horrible frequency coming through the laptop all the time, every single day. Like, it used to drive me crazy. I know how the kids felt. Parents were losing their minds. You could tell.
Yeah.
You could tell. And the teachers you could see just worn down. They were
Yeah.
worn out. Everyone was just like, this is just, what's the point? I might as well just stop school and just quit education altogether at that time.
It was tough.
And all I was thinking was, like, how many parents and kids are feeling the burn here? And my wife suggested, like, said, why don't you do a colouring book? I was like,
that is brilliant, Gina. That's brilliant. That is, I honestly, strategically and for marketing and taking advantage of a situation, not to mention all of the creativity. I mean,
so I thought, okay, I'll do it. So I got to work drawing characters, just simple stuff, because obviously characters is my jam. So I was like doing all these characters, and then I had to research how the heck I was going to make a colouring book. How do I make a colouring book? So I went online and did a bit of research and found Amazon KDP. I was like, what? Amazon actually do print on demand books?
Right.
Yes. So I just learned, and I got it wrong a couple of times. Actually, Amazon were really good. I had to communicate with them. I'm like, I'm struggling. I don't know why it's rejecting my book. And they'd let me know what was going on, and they helped me format it. And they even actually altered it for me, which was kind of them. You don't usually get that from such
nice.
Yeah. So they were quite good there. Props to them. They really helped me get off the ground. It feels a bit controversial.
Say what you will about, and by the way, Amazon has a lot of local businesses that sell through Amazon. So, although today we're supposed to not buy anything in the States here, but say what you will, you cannot. They're how to walk you through getting a book from, okay, I'm ready to kind of publish, but I don't know what to do, and to getting it out there and advertised is untouchable. So
yeah. So that happened, and then I was like, I've got a book and people can buy it. So I started pushing it and promoting it, and then Amazon started delivering early, didn't they, during the pandemic? Getting Amazon.
Because everybody was doing it.
Yeah. So I thought, why not take advantage of the fact that Amazon can deliver stuff? So it did okay, and I ended up getting a PR company involved a little bit, and ended up getting an Indie Best award for children's colouring, Indie Best award for most creative colouring book.
That's awesome. Do you remember the moment when have you written books before this?
No.
Okay, so do you remember the moment when you first had a physical copy of your book that you created in your hand, and what it felt like?
It's amazing. I absolutely just buzz off that. And every subsequent book after, I'm like, I get so excited. Even if I order a batch of them, I'm like,
I know, right?
I love this.
It gives me goosebumps even just thinking about it, because I had the same effect. I'm just going to check in real quick here. Karen says the power of the wife. Yes. Kudos to Gina. And then Tony Gordon is showing up here. Thanks for joining us, Tony. And Tony is coming to us from East, I hope I'm saying this right, Kilbride.
He's Kilbride.
Is Kilbride. Yeah. So thanks, Tony, for joining us today.
Lots of people from Scotland in today.
Yeah. Well, so Doris had said she's from Scotland, but now she's in Southampton. Did I say that right? Is it Southampton or Southampton? Southampton? Worcester?
Southampton.
Okay, so I do want to talk a little bit about. So tell me. So you've got. I know I've presented. I've got 3 books. So this one, by the way, I didn't talk about, but this is your storybook.
Yeah.
You've got characters, and it's so cute. And by the way, are you out there anywhere reading this? Because I know when you had put a video out or something, and I just thought I could listen to you read this book.
I've not done that yet. I need to do that, really.
Yeah.
It needs to go on my list, does that?
Yeah. Yeah. So what else? What am I missing? What do I not have of this? You've got an empire. Tell me about. It's not just books anymore.
Shall I get my books?
Sure, if you have them handy. Yeah.
To get them, they're just in my bag over there. I'll get them.
Yeah. So again, I'm this is the storybook. So let me put it up here. This is Meet the Squibbles. And again, it is a readable book with characters. Sorry, I'm like my camera's off skewed and with my microphone right now. Anyway, there we go. It's just adorable. Some characters based on people that Jay knows. You even had contests for some of the characters to name them, right?
Yeah.
In your Meet the Squibbles books.
Yeah, one of them. Yeah.
Oh, just in case anybody wants to see another one of my lovely illustrations. I was painting for a while, acrylic painting, and I would use the Squibbles color book to test out techniques while I was coloring. So some texture and just some stamping and stuff that I would do. So
that was Colin. That was the birth of Colin. That's where Colin came from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Colin, our Colin.
Colin, one of the
characters, really evolved since then, which is very exciting.
Yeah. So what else you got?
So I've got I've got a book called Tiger Paws.
Yes, I haven't gotten that one yet, but I did see that one. Okay, yeah, tell me about that. Oh, look at that.
So Tiger Paws, quite interestingly, came because I got involved with NFTs. And
NFTs, for those who don't know, is
so it's a non-fungible token.
Non-fungible token. Okay,
yeah, based in the crypto sphere, which people go, ooh, crypto. But it is a very, very modern, very progressive technology. And I was trying to get families on board, really, more than anything. But it attracted, it kind of attracts the wrong people, really. But each one of these drawings is basically in its digital form is an NFT, and people could buy the NFT. And then and anyone who bought an NFT, actually, I sent them a copy of this book as a tangibility exercise. And then each page has a little bit about the
Dino Party Paws. I love
party for one. This Tiger Paws can party on his own like it's 1999, and every birthday he makes himself a microwave cupcake. And there's a QR code on each page, and that QR code takes the person to the NFT on the blockchain. People probably don't understand that yet, and that's fine. I hope one day they will. Maybe they won't. The Squibbles 2.
Yep, I got it. Got that one.
I worked with a primary school. We did a workshop at a primary school, and each child basically created their own squibble in a workshop that we did.
Oh, how cute!
I put all their characters
in a book. That is so cute. So now they have all of their art in.
Yeah, so this book's full of all their artwork to colour in.
And it's still a colouring book. You can still colour in it.
Still colouring it, yeah. Made in Badassery.
And how do you pronounce it? Baza?
Baza. So the school's in Barrow Forward. It's where my daughters went.
Okay, nice.
And we've got Squiblets. Now this is an interesting book. This is leading to other things. Is Squiblets, yeah. So this is filled with these guys, yeah. Each one of these characters is completely and utterly unique, because what I did was each of these characters is randomly generated using about 100 layers that I drew, all stacked on each other. So you've got different eyes, you've got different eyes, you've got different mouths, you've got them all holding something different. The hands are different, the ears are different, and the back. And
they're all adorable.
And they all have a different accessory as well. But this, I've made this into an app.
What?
So I've got an app now where you can. It's an endless colouring pages. So you click.
Yes, I am aware of this. Yes,
it generates a random squiblet.
Yeah. You can print now. Can you do them online or print them?
They're designed to be. It's actually a downloadable app for Windows or Mac.
So you run out of one. You fill up your book.
One, yeah.
You got more coming.
Yeah, so I mean, it's great for kids because they can just generate a random one if they like it. They can print it, but it's never the
What?
same. It's never the same.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah,
Is
it's
that
really
available out there on where's that? Where can people get that if they're
yeah.
interested?
That you can buy that on my Patreon.
Okay. Oh, and is that the one that you gave me a link? Is that the same link? If not, we'll put a link to that in the show notes in the comments.
That'd be cool. Yeah, so it's there or it's on the Squibbles website. You can get it from there as well.
Awesome. Wow. Okay.
It's a new thing that.
So you've got books, you've got an app, you've got NFTs.
Yeah.
What else? Are you doing anything with animation? Is that something down the road
Yeah,
maybe?
the Squibbles is being turned into an animated show. We've been working on the pilot episode for about 3 years. 3 years, honestly. I'm like, what are we doing? What am I doing with my life?
That's amazing though.
It's looking so good. It's a real kind of magazine type show. It's a real eclectic mix. So it's got Puppet in it. It's got Frederick III in it. It's got 3D animation. It's got 2D animation and a song as well. So it's that mixture is the Squibbles, and we're going to be making 12 episodes, aiming for 24. Financially impossible, I think, in timeline wise. So we need to find investors. The thing is as well, Beth, right? I don't want weird corporate investors. I'm just not interested. I want people who, I don't want to kickstart it because I feel that's got a bit of mistrust surrounding it. I just need, I don't know, like I just needed someone who actually believes in the Squibbles and bringing creative imagination to children. It's like they've got loads of cash and they go, here's an investment, give me back 10% or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what we need. That's what we need. So
This is one of the things that I love so much about you because you are what I consider a true creative. I mean, you're cognizant of, the fact that yes, you have to pay the bills, but you're driven by a mission. You're driven by your creativity, you're driven by and you've got your boundaries. You're like, look, I'm not going to settle. I'm not going to settle. And that's so rare. And I get it. I do it. I mean, I settle because sometimes, you do have to pay the bills, but I love it when I hear people because I get this a lot about being an author. I get people when I talk about, they say, well, what do you do? And I say, well, I have a podcast, a live podcast, and then I'm an author. And that's my true love is oh, okay. Well, that's nice. But what do you do to make money? It's like they sort of, shove it aside. Like that can't be your dream. You can do that on the side. I've had people tell me, well, just write every day, but then you've got to have something. You got to be a coach or you got to have a program.
yeah.
And I just go, no, this is what I love to do. And I do believe the money will come if I follow my dream and my desire to be creative.
I personally, from research and just experience, know that people have done it over and over and over again. So either it's all just a big illusion and we're just missing something, or you just have to be so patient and you have to be so steadfast and just like a machine. If anyone comes and says, like you've just experienced and I've experienced it, and it's like, why don't you maybe just, give it another year?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, there's no timeline on this. I could be 50 by the time the Squibbles takes off. I could be 55.
Yeah.
I know. And it's very, very hard to convince anyone, and that's the problem we have in society is we're always trying to convince other people that we're right. Like, I don't care anymore if someone thinks that it's going to be a success or not. I know that it's going to be a success. Whether you believe me or not is not my problem. I know. And then one day I'll just feel just peace that I was so determined and believed in something so much that it worked. I'd feel a sense of peace with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
No?
It is to me, it's like, it's similar for me. And one of the people that I had to convince was myself because I really, after 23 years of making really good money in tech, in corporate life, in a professional job, it was really hard to let that go. But I realized when I did, and when I decided not to go back, even though like I said earlier, I had the struggles of course I'm worried about paying the bills, but I was happy for the first time consistently I couldn't even remember. And I would not right now. It's really hard because there are times where I say to myself, God, it would be really nice. But then I have to trust that it's going to come, because I wouldn't give this up to go back to that paycheck for anything.
You can tell, Beth, that like I've been so impressed with the whole flow of this moment from start to now. It's been flawless. It's been so organized, very inspiring, I have to say. I'm like, how has she done this? How she managed to get this flow like this, and it's all working? I wish I could do that with literally anything.
That is high. That is high praise. No, I just like having a conversation with people, and so I'll, when something comes up, I just go, yeah, I want to go down that path. I don't, I have a little structure, but I like to just go what's more instinctive and not worry about who cares. That's why I bring people on. I also pick really good guests to come on the show who can talk about anything. So it doesn't really matter if we're talking about your coffee cup or your trash problem or your empire of, beautiful illustrations that make people happy. It's just, it is going with the flow. What else about the squibbles? Because I want to go on to something else next, but I want to make sure we wrap up if there's anything, because you're just doing so much with it. By the way, I'm just so excited that you're at least on the path of animation, because I know you've been thinking about that for a long time.
Yeah, you see, I forget that no one's seen it, because I see it all the time. Like, it's just normal to me. But when we released that pilot, I've spoken, so we've got a small team. We've got Dave Swinbank, Carlo Santoriello, we've got Amanda Vogler, we've got Aidan Pillin, who's helping with lyrics, with the songs. We've got a nice little team. We've got a couple of investors who are always there, and who sort of like help to get it off the ground a little bit through NFTs. I'll have that will be important when this pilot comes out. I can't remember what I was saying. I just got all enamored by my team.
The animation that you've seen, and you've got all this team, but you said you forget that people haven't seen this, but you have.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And like, we've all been working on it so tirelessly, really, that we all see it and we all, know what it looks like and everything, but nobody else does. So it's like, with no expectations, nothing might happen. Nothing might happen. But we've put 3 years into it. So something
might happen, though. Something big.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, the intention is for it to attract investment. That's the intention of some kind, whether it's time, whether it's an audience, whatever that is. We want to attract that with this pilot. And we're mildly worried that we might need to get the others done before we release that. Or as soon as we release that, it's real, like, all hands on deck to get the others made. But we've got a format now, so we could probably make one episode in a couple of months, maybe, something like that. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, that's exciting. I'm happy for you, and we'll keep the energy moving forward for Jay to get what he needs to get this out, so we can all enjoy it. I want to touch. Actually, let me go to the comments real quick. Okay, Eileen Pizzy is here. She is watching with her coffee from, I assume, New Jersey. Eileen, thanks for joining us again. Eileen, I just so appreciate your support. You come on here a lot. I know that not everybody, I invite a lot of people to this live, and I know not a lot of them can come, and you can't come every time. I can't come to every live and every event that I'm invited to, and sometimes I don't even have time to watch the replays. I so appreciate when you show up. I love the energy that you guys bring. Tony says I said Kilbride correctly. Thank you. Karen Chappell, talking about your book, says, oh, so cute. Must buy. Yes, must buy. And Karen says, how rude, but I'm not sure what that was about, but I'm sure we were talking about something that probably was rude. So
talking about it just being, oh, that's nice, being an author.
Yeah, true. Yes, that's true, right? Yeah, and we both have gotten that. Okay, I do want to, I want to touch real quickly, even though you didn't put this in your list of things to talk about, but I want to talk a little bit about, you have a podcast with your friend. What is your friend's name that you have?
It's called Dave Swinbank.
Dave Swinbank. You and Dave have a podcast called Voice Notes Suck.
Yeah.
Go out on YouTube and look up Voice Notes Suck. So you and I had a conversation about this, and I've been listening to some of your episodes. This is for me, and I've had since probably 2010, I've had probably 7 or 8 different podcasts throughout the years. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I talk with a lot of podcasters. This is the most unique format that I have ever seen. And it's so brilliant to me. So can you tell the audience, our viewers, what is sort of the premise and the model of Voice Notes Suck, and kind of maybe a little bit how it came about?
So me and Dave met on Twitter Spaces, about 4 years ago now, something like that. And we just hit it off. He lives way down south. I live up north. We're miles and miles apart. And we just ended up communicating literally every day. Like, these things are rare, I find. Communicating every day via voice notes on WhatsApp. Right.
Okay. I was just going to say, voice notes meaning like you record a message like you can do on text or Messenger or WhatsApp. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And I feel like we did that because we used to communicate by voice in Twitter Spaces all the time, you see.
Yeah.
We'd be hosting, I'd be hosting, co-hosting. We just hit it off, just got a really, really good rapport. You know, it's a bit like two Ronnies. It's just like straight man, funny man, and then we'll swap roles now and again. You know how that is. It's just the dynamics are just really, really great.
Yeah, yeah.
And people really vibe with that, and we got that feeling. So you kind of, it builds you up, doesn't it? So we were just chatting via voice notes for so long, and Dave mentioned it. It's like, imagine just if we did a podcast, just talking, just our voice notes would make a good podcast, wouldn't they? Like, do you know what? Right, let's just forget convention, right? Forget all this stuff you have to do to make a podcast, and just make one using our voice notes. So set up a group. We just, for me and Dave, set up a group for the episode, and then we just talk. And we've got very specific rules. No voice note is allowed to be over 90 seconds. I mean, that's too long for me. Dave's fine with that. I'm not. So no voice note is meant to be over 90 seconds. And no episode is meant to be over 25 minutes. We know podcasts go on for hours and hours, some of them, but we were like, it needs to be succinct, it needs to be concise, it needs to be just packed with the right stuff. And we just got to it. And the thing is, the beauty of it is that we find, which is just so good, you can record your reply at any time. Like, days may pass. So Dave will record his voice note about a topic. So we would pick a topic, we'll talk about something. Series 3 is currently in the works, which we're very excited about. And our special's just been released. So about why we love voice notes. And so we'd set the topic and then we'd just talk about it. But like, you know, I might have gone out, gone to the gym, come back and replied. You know, it's not like a normal conversation, because I mean, you're fantastic, by the way, in conversation. But most of the time, if you have a conversation with someone, they interject. And it bothers me because I like to speak. And if I listen to a podcast and they're interrupting each other all the time, my brain's like, no. So what happens is, it's like Dave speaks, then I speak, then Dave speaks. And you can listen really, really well to the person talking. It just makes so much sense. Like, after we've done a few episodes, it's like, why does no one else do this? You know?
It's brilliant. I love this just for exactly the reason that you said. Well, first of all, your topics are very intriguing and interesting. So just the topic itself would draw me in. But this is a dilemma that I have. I love doing lives, and I love the interaction with the audience and with my guest. But you're exactly right. When we are with somebody that we feel really comfortable with, we tend to make assumptions about things that the person will understand, and we don't complete full sentences, and we interject. And it is a dance for me to sometimes, because I'm writing notes down. Like, I have to, should I go back to that? That was really interesting. Maybe I want to, but no, we're too far. But so for anybody out there who's listening who didn't quite get that, Jay will record a voice note, and then Dave will record a response and then follow response. So when you're listening to the podcast, it is literally like you are listening to their voice notes. It is a complete and coherent thought. Sometimes they're very short, but sometimes you would be surprised at how much you can fit into 90 seconds. You think it's short, but I'm listening sometimes and I think they've got to be going over. But no, you can talk quite a bit in 90 seconds. And there's not the interruption, and and you do have time to think. And I'm a person who I tend to speak. I don't like pauses. So it's really good for me. And I just think I've never seen anything like that. I just think it's amazing.
So as well, we wanted to get it out relatively quickly and efficiently, actually, just because of both of our time. So we used AI. So I used AI to generate the logo. We used AI to generate the characters for the visuals. And we use AI to summarize our episodes. So we'll listen and we'll just write down the key points, and then we'll just get ChatGPT to write us a summary, and then we can use that to speak in the podcast. Same with the intros. It's just a really good workflow. It's like we've got an editor with us, you know. We've got like a virtual editor who helps us with each episode, and it helps us with the description, so we can just like get it up and get it done, you know, efficiently, not necessarily quickly or cheaply, just efficiently, you know. And Dave's not adverse to putting a bit of cash into it, but we don't need to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think everybody go out there. I'll put a link. It's called Voice Notes Suck. I listen to it on YouTube. I assume it's out there. Is it out there other places?
It's on Spotify and Audible. Yeah.
Spotify and Audible. And again, it is just, I mean, when your graphics too, you know, you're not on camera, but you just have really, really cool graphics too. So there's nothing I don't like about it. So yeah, check it out. What was I going to say? I don't remember. It'll come back to me. It must have been a lie. I just want to check in with our comments real quick. I have a LinkedIn user showing up for me as LinkedIn user who says that they're drinking chicken soup in a nice fat coffee mug for the runny nose. Oh, I'm sorry, whoever has the runny nose, but great choice. Great job with chicken soup. Karen Chappell says, absolutely follow your dream. And then Trisha Lewis is joining us. She says a bit late, but Trisha, always happy to have you. Trisha, author of Mystery of the Squash Self, another book that I don't have handy with me. Sorry, because it's on my bedside because I'm rereading it. Another great book that you should look up. And Trisha was my guest a couple weeks ago, so check out that episode. It was tons of fun. Okay, Voice Note Suck. Go check it out. Let's talk about, we got just a few minutes left here. Let's talk about All Hail Hyena. Okay. Because I know people probably
like, who is this guy? What is he doing with his life?
Computers with kids, and now he makes these amazing coloring books in characters. And wow, he's also it's Shandi. Hi, Shandi.
Can I mention Story Corner? Seeing as how it's related to the Scribbles.
Oh, you showed it to me earlier, but is that Colin?
That's Colin from the Scribbles, but I was commissioned by Bookmark Reading Charity.
Oh, nice.
Who are in London, and they basically get books into schools to help kids read, and they have volunteers who go online. So I did that as well. I volunteered for a little bit to just help children read, and they commissioned me to make a version of the magazine. They bring out a magazine every quarter or something, every term for the kids, called Story Corner, where it's all compiled. But this particular version they wanted me to do a graphic novel version.
Yeah, it's like a comic book.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they wanted me to do. They call it a graphic novel. It is a bit.
It is. Yeah, it is essentially the same thing. Yeah.
They wanted me to do that, so I said yes. Obviously, of course you do. Amazing commission. But they've also got submissions from other illustrators who do graphic novels too, because they want to get children into. You know, it's just another way of learning to read, isn't it? Yeah. A graphic novel. I mean, my daughter loves graphic novels. So basically, Colin travels through that, and it weaves in the story weaves in between the submissions, which is very exciting.
I love that. So where can you tell me some of the places he travels to?
So he basically gets a knock on his door from a stranger, and he's like, "Who's that?" And he finds a map in his bag. They're looking for the map, the person that arrives, and they go, and he's like, "Who was that?" He's like, "I guess I need to." He said, "If you find a map, can you call us? It's very important." and he's like, I need to get out of here. Colin's like, something's wrong. When all of a sudden a book is thrown through the window, and it's called "This Book Will Self-Destruct."
Wow.
And that's what this is taken from. So the comic is called "This Book Will Self-Destruct." So this is basically, yeah. Do you get how it's going now?
That's brilliant.
So he's like, oh no, I hope he diffuses it before he gets back. So he goes off on an adventure, and he's trying to find all these special letters, which he might not be able to find, but
nice.
there's one there.
That looks
like
they're
throughout the whole magazine, and they have to find a word at the end, which is very exciting.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
Just commissioned me to do.
So add graphic novels to your Squibbles empire.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. No, that's okay. So Trisha here is popping in, and she's saying she's happy to be. She's thrilled to be on my bedside. Thank you, Trisha. Thank you. And she also says, hi, all you people I didn't know. And she also says, love this. Anything that gets kids to gets kids reading. Yes, yes, absolutely. Okay, so let's talk a little bit, just briefly, about All Hail Hyena. This is your band. How long have you been heading All Hail Hyena?
8 years.
8 years. Okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
And are you so whenever I've seen you, you're always performing in your pajamas. Is that
correct?
Yes. So it's wonderful. You guys got to check out All Hail Hyena.
Yeah.
The viral video that I was talking about is a guy who's, I think his favorite band is All Hail Hyena, and I think it was his wife surprised him for his birthday. So they were filming knowing this, and the band is in the backyard starting, and he's walking through kind of a corridor. You have to go see it. It's full of energy. And then he's just so excited. And this has gone, you've got like millions of views on this thing.
60 million.
Wow.
60 million.
How do you not have a contract with
why? We've discussed this loads. It's like, what is it that they can do for us that we're not already doing ourselves, other than,
true,
I don't know, contacts. That's literally it. It's contacts. And we're in our 40s, which I know you shouldn't say this, but there is ageism is rife in the music industry. They just want young teenagers who they can just manipulate into just making music however they want, mostly. Even if it's like an alternative label and you're up. Sorry, Beth, my cam's gone off. Just one moment.
Yeah, no worries. Well, I'm going to show you while he's off camera. I'm going to show you his.
Sorry, here we go. Low quality now. Sorry. Yeah. So it's like it's just Why we could just do it ourselves, basically.
Well, I think I love your band. You, by the way, you have a I know you shouldn't say probably beautiful voice in the context of rock punk trio, but you do have a beautiful voice. You were doing some covers. For a while, like short ones because of copyright stuff. But I mean, some of them, and they were just like haunting. Some of them were just, I can't even remember the one that I said. There was one that just was like, oh my God. But unfortunately, I guess copyright.
Copyright, yeah. If it's over a minute, they sting you. But if it's under a minute, it's fine.
Yeah.
So, no, I wanted to just do a series of covers just to show off my voice, really, and hopefully get people into my music.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Sad that is either my melancholy, sad solo stuff.
Well, that's the thing, is you're all over the place, because your band has these songs that are just like so full of energy, and then you're just sitting at the piano and you're just singing this beautiful. So it's very indicative. It's very Jay Stansfield that you have just the spectrum of creativity that you bring in. You kind of, there's multiple threads, but you just sort of weave this tapestry of creativity, but it all makes sense. Like the children and the singing, the music, and the color and the characters. It all makes sense.
Tony's asking how I fit it all into my life.
Yeah, right. I want to know too.
No, Tony, actually. That's the reality of it. It's funny. It's like when you do something for so long, and when you sort of just like, creativity is literally my life. It's literally like that's just what comes from me. at some point, like during the day, anytime, you know.
Yeah.
I do have a little bit of a schedule. I have to, because otherwise I lose my mind. But
Yeah.
whatever that schedule is, it's usually around a commission. Like if I get a commission, then I have to schedule that because I'm honouring someone else's request, which is very, very important, especially if they pay me. So I have to make sure that I'm doing a good job. I always go above and beyond as well. I will always do that. Again, part of my character to want to help and share and make sure that I can troubleshoot and bring the most value that I possibly can to someone who wants me to share my creativity with them ultimately.
That's beautiful.
So, but like this, so that's All Hail.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So this
your band, All Hail Hyena.
So funnily enough,
is that a book?
So it's an owl book.
An owl.
So funnily enough, like my book publishing thing, we used to do a hyena zine at our shows, bit naughty, under the counter stuff. So we used to sell those just at gigs. You could not sell them online. But they all sold out. But because we were like creating these things, we decided not to release our album conventionally. We decided to release it as almost like a zine / album. So can you see that QR code there?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So that QR code there links to Itching in the Kitchen, basically.
Oh, that is brilliant.
Yeah. So the QR code actually stores the audio file, so you can download it. So you scan that and you get to download it. So it's yours then. So this is a different way to consume music. And we thought, why not just make, you know? And again, it's like the Tiger Pose. It's got QR codes in it. It's got different bits of information. It's got a couple of like games in there. There's a Spot the Difference, which we used to have that in our.
That is just again another something I've never seen before. And
there we are playing live.
Nice.
At one of our gigs.
Do you have your you showed me your was it okay, yeah, show me that, but your current album too.
Yeah, my solo album. People are going to
go,
who is this guy? What does he do again?
I told people you're a literal rock star. They didn't, they thought I was just paraphrasing. Oh, I love it.
So I recorded this, when was it? 2014. I recorded it with just like a glass of wine, like lots of wine, a microphone, and just like my keyboard really, and a guitar and a bass and stuff, just on my own. And the artwork, Beth, is by one of my favorite artists, R.S. Connie. It's from LA. He's a very
beautiful.
He's a very prolific.
Oh wow!
He's a very prolific artist.
Yeah.
He's also quite surrealist.
Wow! Well, congratulations on that. This is a new release of your older solo material.
Yeah, that's right.
Pretty. Oh, you're taking me back now. You're taking me back.
Pretty vinyl. I've not listened to it yet. I need to do that later.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy with that. Really.
Yeah, Trisha says quite the 70s vibe to that album cover. Yeah, it's very. Oh, yeah. Remember, I mean, you probably remember a little Jay, but I know Trisha probably remembers, like me, way back when vinyl was the only thing, right? Or unless you were doing like 8-track tapes or maybe cassettes really early, but cassettes were convenient but small. But the artwork on vinyls, and then really to some extent CDs when they were big too. But it's just. Oh, it's a memory. It's a memory.
Can I just say, Beth? Like,
yeah, tell me.
If anyone out there ever doubts that they've got like multiple avenues that they explore like on a consistent basis or on a constant basis, every time you go down one of those avenues, it contributes to all the other avenues. And it's really important to always remember that, because if you think, oh no, I'm neglecting music, or oh no, I'm neglecting my illustration or whatever, like whatever you're doing in that moment is literally you're building your creative bank up to do something else. Like I would never have done this if I'd not done the scribbles. I'd never have done this if I'd not done Tiger Pose. I'd never have done Tiger Pose if I'd not explored NFTs. And if you just open your mind and follow the things that your heart's like, I'll do that even though it seems absolutely ridiculous and it could cause me a problem. Yeah. As long as you're not hurting anyone or hurting yourself, of course.
Right.
Then do that, because you can't understand your path really without exploring all those things. You just can't. You can't plan into the future who you're going to be, can you? You can only look back and go, wow, I did all those things.
Right. And they all lead to here. Those roads lead to here. I love that because I often second guess myself, and I know a lot of other people do, where they don't pursue something or explore something that maybe is inspiring to them because they think, well, I need to stay in my lane, or it's not really going to help me. And there is something to be said for focus too. If you're shiny coining it like I do with things that maybe I don't really want to pursue, but all those roads lead to here. And so I like here. I like you here. So that road has been rocky, and those roads have been rocky and up and down. But if we like who we are today and where we're going, then that's all. It's all worthwhile.
Some people enjoy rambling in the outdoors, don't they? They'll go, right, I'm going to go. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where I'm going to end up. People do it when they travel the world. And then all the time, every time you see that person, they are so wise and enriched and just filled with experience to share with other people. And it's the same with creativity. It's the same with anything like that. Wherever you explore, I don't travel the world as such, but I travel through a lot of creative interests that genuinely contribute to my character, and I can genuinely bring like high value to the world now. It takes a long time though. People are so impatient. It takes years, decades.
Yeah.
Decades. But you get there. Get there.
Right. That's right. All right, folks, we're going to be wrapping up in a minute. So if you have any final comments or feedback or anything, any questions, please throw them in the comments now. Or if you're on the replay, throw them in and we'll get to them after the fact. I did want to read a comment. So I alluded earlier to how Jay's, in quotes, children's books have such an appeal for those of us who are no longer children. So I did put some promotional posts out there. One of them was about personal illustrations that I have gotten. Jay's created me a small handful of personal illustrations over the years, just thank yous, just quick things that he sent me. They're so awesome. I treasure them. But I put a post out about that, and Indra says, that's awesome, meaning the getting personalized illustrations. And so is Jay Stansfield, also awesome. I just finished my last Squibbles notebook. I need to get some more. And I take the coloring book and some pencils with me when I know there will be kids at a lunch dinner, even if they're bigger kids. See? Like they like the one where you write your own blurbs. I think that's the Squibbles 2 has some spots where you can put little you can put words in there. Always a hit while waiting for service or while the adults are gabbing. So yeah, the big kids and the little kids love that. Thank you for that comment, Indra. I want to get to some of the last comments here. Tricia says, I've always loved stories with maps. I had Winnie the Pooh and Millie, Molly, Mandy, both with maps on the inside for spread. I think this is Chandri. Is this you who are? Sorry, Shandi. She says, fantastic work, Jay. My 9-year-old loves graphic novels and also writes his own stories, illustrates them too. That's awesome. Trisha says about why don't you have a contract? You might have to sell your soul with a contract, she says. Truth.
Yeah, I want my soul. Keep my soul.
Trisha says tapestry of creativity. That makes sense. I like that. And then Shani says 100% transferable skills in the currency today. Doris, Jay, so awesome how you're sharing your creativity in such different ways. Very inspiring. I agree. And then Trisha says, this is spot on. Explore things, as we were talking about too. She says, I sang in a rock band in my 50s. See, well, Trisha's also taken up rock wall climbing in her 60s. So ageism is around, but you can never be too old. Tony says, thank you both for a fantastic show. Jay, love everything you're doing and you're so inspiring. I agree. Okay, so Jay, before we jump off here, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you? And how, and what do you have anything coming up that you want to promote out there that we can? I've got some of your links here ready to put up, but just thought you might want to wrap us up by bringing people to you.
Yes. So if people go to jaystansfield.com, that's probably the best place to go because it's got my music on there, it's got squibbly stuff on there, it's got my Instagram and all my social media and all that. Technically, I should have a website, but I'm just like, how do you fit all this into your life, Jay? Well, I don't fit in making a website into my life. So, you know,
Yeah.
that's the best place for now is Linktree. But jaystansfield.com. I've got a new song coming out. It's currently on my Bandcamp. I took a risk by just recording it on my phone in mono, and I've released it globally on all the major music streaming platforms.
Nice. What's it called?
It's called what did I call it? It's so new. I forgot.
I don't remember what I called my own song. Well, you send it to me later. I will put all of this stuff and your song and a link to it if it's out yet in the show notes so people can go and check it out. Is this a slow song or is this a
missing piece?
Missing piece? Okay.
It's in peace and love.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a bit of a reflection on. I've been feeling it because I'm quite sensitive, so I've been feeling it a little bit over these last couple of weeks. Global events have bothered me a little bit, and just that you can feel it. I can feel it because I'm sensitive. I'm just sensitive.
Yeah, I think you're speaking for a lot of people out there who are feeling it.
And I just needed to get the song out. You know, I didn't want to go into a studio and record it because it needed to be there in its raw emotional form. So it's a bit of a heavy song, but you know, sometimes we need that.
Heavy times.
It can communicate.
Heavy times for sure. Well, Jay, thank you so much. I mean, I have stuff in my notes that I didn't even get to. Probably could have talked for forever. I just really, I so appreciate your creativity and just coming out here and being open about what you've gone through. And I love your kind of wrapping it up with, you know, hey, you know, the roads you're going down and you're exploring, and it's all good. Even if it doesn't work out, it still plays into where we are today. So thank you so much. And thanks so much for being you, because you're awesome. All right, folks. Next week on on the Thirsty Professional, my very special guest is going to be Jenny Erickson. So Jenny is the co-founder and, as she calls herself, the chief noisy person of Event Raptor, which is a innovative sort of a virtual, not sort of, it is a virtual event management system. Simplifies running global virtual events, which are very popular these days. Summits, virtual summits. She's also got a group on Facebook. It's called Speaker Connection. So all you speakers out there, Jenny is very passionate about creating speaking opportunities and connecting event hosts, which is what Event Raptor is really about, with you, your speaker talent. So if you're a speaker, if you're somebody who is hosting an event or wants to host an event, you're looking for opportunities, this is going to be the episode for you, and also for everybody else, because Jenny is generally just a badass. She's about as real as they get. And we're going to talk about her Event Raptor, but we're also going to talk about visibility and her brain surgery. So she's going to tie those two together. So don't miss it. If you're out there watching on LinkedIn, please connect both with Jay and myself if you are not already. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Also go look up Jay Stansfield and All Hail Hyena and whatever else we'll put into the show notes. If you have any questions or feedback that we didn't get to, please leave them in the comments, or you can DM us if you are able to do so. And congratulate yourself for getting real about your career, your purpose, and your passion. So now, Miss Hattie Arbuckle, Jay Stansfield, and I are going to bid you a fond farewell. Take it easy. Bye, everybody. Cheers.